What's good? Lucky Lefty podcast, Onora Boys. Hey, we're brought to you by Onora Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, you have to make sure that you do it responsibly. Let's get it, LL. Lucky Lefty podcast, SD2 mics. Sorry for the late start because I wasn't supposed to be on the show tonight. I'm down here at the conference, and about an hour ago, Reggie Brooks and MALIK was supposed to do the show tonight, and I get out of the conference and realize that nothing has transpired. So here I am, Lucky Lefty fans. Here I am, Notre Dame fans. How you guys feeling, man? Sorry, I don't know what happened. I do know that I spoke to Reggie Brooks, and he was waiting, and so yeah, we'll figure out what took place. But I'm here now, so we have some things we're going to talk about tonight, or that Reggie and MALIK was supposed to talk about. And I just think, first of all, let me go through everything we're supposed to go through. First of all, the overlay is wrong. So obviously, somebody's been in here changing the overlay. There we go. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Bleav Network for the audio edibles each and every day. We dropped 2 new episodes today. We have 2 dropping tomorrow over at Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And as always, we are presented by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com and you can get some great value on Notre Dame's new starting quarterback, CJ Carr, at plus 3,100 to win the Heisman. Let me tell you something. He starts off hot the first 2 games. You never know what could happen with the talent that is surrounding him. So you might want to go grab that over at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app in your Apple Store or your Google Store and tap in. All right? Now that we got the particulars out of the way and the introduction out of the way, I want to say something. And I was going to save this for tomorrow. Like I said, the intention was not for me to be on tonight's show. But in lieu of everything that took place yesterday and the celebratory podcast that we did and the celebratory day that it was when the announcement came down that CJ Carr was indeed the starting quarterback, I want to offer this to Notre Dame fans. I want to offer this. I think both quarterbacks deserve an ovation, a round of applause, a celebration. The reason I say that is because I feel like I got a front row seat along with Notre Dame fans to a heavyweight bout. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. The anticipation leading up to it, after the spring, after the transfer of Steve Angeli, the beginning of fall camp, August 31st. One day you're hearing about Kenny Minchie. The next day you're hearing about CJ Carr. It's like being on the first row of a big-time heavyweight fight in Las Vegas. and you're watching one boxer win a round, win 2 rounds, and then the next boxer, his resiliency, he comes back and he wins a round. He wins 2 rounds. You get down to the championship rounds, those last 3 rounds, and you have no clue. It doesn't matter who you were rooting for. It doesn't matter who you were rooting for. If you were rooting for Kenny, if you were rooting for CJ, you get to those championship rounds, those last few days when anxiety was at an all-time high for the Notre Dame fan base, because we just wanted to know who is the winner, who is the guy. And when you've seen a great fight, when you've witnessed a great fight, it doesn't matter who you want it to win. It doesn't matter what the scorecards say. Everybody in the arena stands up and says, yo, that was a great fight. Man, that was a good fight. Like, who do you think won? Who do you think won? And I don't know. I can't wait to hear. I can't even call it. That's how I feel as a Notre Dame fan. As much as we celebrated CJ Carr being named the starter yesterday, I think as a fan base today, we need to celebrate this quarterback battle, this heavyweight battle between Kenny Minchey and CJ Carr and what they gave us. They gave us something that was down to the wire, that had to go to the scorecards. That was something like a split decision. You know, when you hear the scorecards, Judge such and so judges it 115, 113 for boxer 1. Judge so and so judges it 116, 112 for boxer 2. And Judge such and so judges about 115, 113 for the new starting quarterback for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And then there's a pause. And then we heard CJ Carr. And everybody in the arena is like, yo, how can you be mad? It doesn't matter who you were rooting for. You can't even be mad. You just have to stand and clap your hands and give a round of applause. And I believe that's what both of these quarterbacks deserve. This is what both of these quarterbacks deserve, man. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be honest. I've been around this program with so-called quarterback battles. But what we honestly got as a fan base was the best quarterback battle Notre Dame has probably had in over a decade. And it was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. So I want everyone today, we gave CJ Carr his flowers. But right now, I think it's okay to bring Kenny Minchey into the picture right now. And he should not be forgotten, because the way football goes, one play, one sprained ankle, he is the holder of the destiny of the Notre Dame offense and Notre Dame's quest to make it back to the college football playoffs and to make it back to finish the job in the national championship game of the CFP. So a tip of the cap, a round of applause, a hip, hip hooray to Kenny Minchey and CJ Carr for giving us the show that they gave us all spring and all summer long. If that is the tip of the iceberg for what is to come, man, I can't wait to see it, Notre Dame fans. I'm even more excited about August 31st. because I think it's a team rolling into South Florida. And I really don't think people understand how fast this train, how big this train is that's about to roll into South Florida. Like my boy Sid Iris said, Dud County. Dud County. If you have a GTB question, you guys are going to help me host tonight. I love you guys so much. I had to come upstairs. I'm like, yo, we're supposed to do a show. We're doing a show. I don't care how long it is or how short it is. We're doing a show. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get MALIK and Reggie Brooks back in because Uncle Reg really wanted to focus on the offensive line tonight. He really wanted to focus on the offensive line tonight. And even when I came upstairs, he said, man, I'm helping my daughter with her homework. And I said, no. Go be a dad. Go be a dad. Lock that in and do what you need to do. But we're here. So I want to ask you all, Notre Dame fans, how are you feeling a day after the announcement? How are you feeling a day after the announcement of CJ Carr being the starting quarterback for Notre Dame? I want to repeat, congratulations to CJ. But man, let us not forget, they gave us a show, and you can't dance. You cannot dance unless you have an incredible dance partner. And CJ Carr had an incredible dance partner. And you got to love it. You absolutely have to love it. Marcus Freeman, I want to repeat this. I played it yesterday, but I want to play it again. Marcus Freeman talking about the mindset that he hopes his team is going to have August 31st versus the Miami Hurricanes. This is what he had to say.
We don't want to repeat what we did last year because last year's over, but I hope the mindset is how do we get better, right? And that's what we talk about, right? We got a new coordinator, we got some new guys, like the expectations is to elevate, to be better. And so it's a mindset. It's not let's repeat last year, let's be as good. It's like, okay, here's our team, here's our group, here's our directions. How do we go to work and get better? There's been really good leadership. I think I look at the coaching staff and the unity amongst and the alignment of the coaching staff is one thing, and then the player-led leadership is another thing. It's been strong. It's been really strong, and so they've been playing well. Like I told them after practice, you try to put something on the line, right? And at the end of the day, that they're going to know that okay, we played well today. How do we get better?
How do we get better? So we talked about the 3 points that I took from that clip, that excerpt of Marcus Freeman last Sunday after the scrimmage. So if you missed it, go check it out either on YouTube and make sure you hit the like button, or you can just listen to it again over at Apple Podcasts or Spotify, courtesy of Bleav Network. About to get to your GTB questions and also the super chat in a second. But I think it's very paramount to understand and ask this question. Did this battle make CJ Carr better? That's the question I have for you guys. We said we were going to talk about it in the description for the show. Did this battle make CJ Carr better? I talk about everything that took place, the ebbs and flows of this battle. Two heavyweights, two guys that were worthy to don the helmet. Both of these guys are worthy to be the starting quarterback for Notre Dame. That goes without saying. But I started to wonder, Was this needed? Remember, we talked the other day on Monday, and we were talking about, yo, we don't have a problem that Marcus Freeman said to this point, and this was before they went and watched the film of that Sunday scrimmage. And Marcus Freeman at that press conference said, man, I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't seen that moment. I haven't seen that moment from either guy to this point. And I had to take him at his word. I literally had to take him at his word. And so when Marcus Freeman says that, it makes you wonder, man, what was it on that film from Sunday? And the reason I ask this is because most moments, usually a moment doesn't come via replay or rewatch. You can relive the moment watching it back, but usually the moment is in the present. The moment happens, and when it happens, you know it's a moment. I was blessed to be able to watch and view every single closeout game of the Chicago Bulls 6 championships when I was younger. Though every moment was different, but it was a moment. It was a moment I never forgot. That's why I can't wait to hear from Marcus Freeman. I can't wait until we get the opportunity to hear from him, because I want to know. I am literally intrigued. I'm intrigued to find out, what did you see Sunday when you watched the film and you spoke with Gino Guidugli and Mike Denbrock? What was it that you saw that made you say, that is what I was looking for from CJ? Because I believe in my heart of hearts that Marcus Freeman wanted CJ. If he was going to win it, you have to win it. You got to win it. You have to jump Kenny. That's what we talked about Monday. A lot of people looked at this as if Kenny had to jump CJ. But interestingly enough, the way it played out, it seems like CJ was the one that had to jump Kenny in the end. CJ was the one that had to prove it and really had to earn it. I mean, both guys had to earn it. Both guys had to earn it. But I think Marcus Freeman really wanted his red shirt freshman with high upside to go out there, go through the ups and downs, learn how to be resilient, learn how to bounce back, and learn how to continue to ascend. And that's what he got. That's what he got. He got that ascension. And he didn't just get it, ladies and gentlemen, from one guy in the battle. He didn't just get it from one guy. He got it from both guys in the battle. Both guys in the battle. And Mike Denbrock said it best when he spoke to the media. No matter who it is, now that we know it's CJ Carr is going to need something. Guess what it is? He's going to need time. Mike Denbrock. This is what he said.
No matter who we name the quarterback, it's no easy task going down to Miami and playing them in a season opener. So some of those things obviously only happen in situations in the speed of the game, and those things only happen in game situations. So no matter who the starter is, there will be a learning curve involved in all of this. But we're confident we've got two guys who compete at a very high level and do a really, really good job.
Mike Denbrock said that Sunday before they went to watch the film. Like, it really doesn't matter. I said it yesterday. I spoke to several people. The team was just like, just tell us. We're going to ball out regardless. Offensive line is going to block their tails off regardless. Running back, the entire room is going to put on regardless. Wide receiver room, what? Ready to not be the weakness of the offense. Ready to be the strength or a strength for the offense. It's time. They feel like it's their time. And they're ready to step up. Tight ends. You heard Mike Denbrock this past weekend. Eli Raridon is elite. Jack Larson coming along. You heard him. You heard him. For this team, they just wanted to know. All right, let's get it. Doesn't change how we're going to play. Doesn't change who we are as a team. Let's get it. And I absolutely love that. I love that. But my question once again, hit me up in the chat. Let me know. Do you think this was the best thing for CJ Carr? Him being pushed like this? Him having to jump Kenny as the perception was towards the end of this competition? Do you think that was the best thing for CJ Carr? And do you think that's going to put a positive or positively impact him going into two very tough games as a first-time starter? And I said it yesterday. If he gets through these first two games undefeated, college football might be in trouble. They might be in trouble. Real talk. Black Rhino, appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for showing up, Sean. Hey, I had to. Word is bond. Had to show up for LL. E. Hamilton, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your dedication to the show, SD. Hey, man, you guys are the best. You're the best. So I had to come rock out with you. So for me, I missed a GTB question. I'm going to try and pull it back up. If you had a GTB question, super chat, put it in, and we'll make sure we get to it. But once again, the beginning of this show, I just wanted to bring Kenny Minchey into the conversation. I don't feel like by any stretch of the imagination, this is not like him being that Homer Simpson gif, where Homer Simpson like just fades into the bushes and just disappears into the bushes. That's not what this is with Kenny Minchey. It's just not. That's not what this is. These two dudes put on a show. Making plays, throwing dimes, making plays outside the pocket. They both made their mistakes. They both threw interceptions. But they were doing it going up against one of the top 3 defensive secondaries in all of college football on a daily basis. That's another thing. Are you kidding me? That's another thing that makes this quarterback battle even more historic. This is legendary. This is like a quarterback battle that you guys are going to talk to your grandkids about, or maybe even some of your children. You're going to talk about this quarterback battle, how it happened, all of the predictions, that were put out. This guy said this. This guy said that. This was the report on Friday. This was the report on Saturday. Then the report came out on Sunday. And finally, we got the word on Tuesday. It's epic, man. It's absolutely epic. It's epic. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. One of those groups that we didn't get a chance to hear from Mike Denbrock specifically that he spoke about. We always talk about the wide receivers. We always talk about the running backs. Everybody wants to know who's replacing Charles Jagusah. Man, we heard Matty Augustine. His name was floating around, buzzing, right? Then we hear about Gerby Lambert. He's buzzing. Sullivan Absher. He was in that spot immediately after the injury to Charles Jagusah. Had a little nick, missed a little time. Then he charged back towards the end of camp. So we'll see who comes out with the ones. Because if you watch the clips from that Sunday practice, that Sunday scrimmage, you saw both Sullivan Absher and Gerby Lambert running with the ones. So that race and that battle seems like it's going to be raging on probably into the last week of preparation. But Mike Denbrock, hey man, you know what Notre Dame is. Notre Dame fans, you know what Notre Dame is. What is it? It's tight end you. And this is what Mike Denbrock said about his tight end.
We haven't had those types of discussions yet. We've kind of just been in camp mode, right? It's kind of been, 6 inches in front of your face day to day. If we feel like there's a need to kind of maybe dual train, maybe one of the younger linemen that isn't in the starting rotation as a blocking tight end or whatever that happens to be. I've done that before and been in that scenario. I'm confident with the guys that are in the room, though. Passing game wise, from a tight end perspective, you're asking, I think Eli Reardon is elite and has a chance to be elite. And really, I think I've said this before, I think he's got a chance to be the next really good tight end from this great university, and there's a long line of those in front of him, but he measures up both physically and athletically to be able to do all the jobs. And Ty Washington, I mean, unfortunately, he's had a little bit of a wrist issue going on that he's been dealing with. He's been a little sore with that, so he's got a big old wrap on it. So we'll get him healed up, and he's done some good things both in the run and the pass game. Jack Larson continues to come along and show improvement. So I think there's a number of different guys we can pop in there at the tight end position.
So that was a very interesting question because I do believe sometime before spring practice, because of attrition at the tight end position, and then you had guys like Ty Washington that wasn't practicing during the spring for numbers' sake, they were actually thinking about, man, should we move Preston Zinter over the tight end or possibly someone else over the tight end? And they made the decision to hold off, right? And then that's because Kevin Bauman had came back. They thought he was going to be healthy, and unfortunately, his senior, if you have not had a chance to see Kevin Bauman's senior speech, every senior during fall camp had an opportunity to speak to the team and address the team. And if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Bauman's speech to the team came days after he found out, or was scheduled days after he found out that he was going to be out for the season because of another injury. And if you don't know, Kevin Bauman is a warrior, man. His resiliency, his leadership in that room, battling through injury after injury, and for it to end like that, it's just kind of sad. On top of the fact, and I have to give a shout out, because we had Canes fans in the chat. he was getting ready to go up against his little brother in this matchup against the Hurricanes. And they were talking about how great of a family event it was going to be, that everybody, they had big time family coming to the game to watch both guys play. And your heart goes out to the young man. But he's got that Notre Dame education, right? So he might miss out on some things, but the one thing he has is a Notre Dame education. And he is a man, you already know he's resilient, he's tough. So you already know he's going to be extremely successful in whatever he does. I hope he gets into coaching. I really do. I really hope he gets into coaching. But shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. GTB question from Sean Stewart. If you have a GTB question, put it in. You guys are co-hosting with me tonight. So rock with me. Let's talk about it. Anything you want to talk about, offense, defense, recruiting, the game, let me know. We're going to talk about it. Sean Stewart says this offense is about to be like Goku when he first turned Super Saiyan against Frieza. Yo. Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty good analogy. That's a pretty good analogy. I can see that. I can see that. You know what? What would shock you the most? I just thought about this. So you guys rock with me. What would shock you the most about this Notre Dame offense? If blank happened, I would be shocked. If blank happened, I would be shocked. If blank happened, I have a couple in my mind right now. I have a couple. You guys put it in the chat. Think about it, throw it in the chat. We're going to talk about it. Carl Freeman. GTB question. Do you think there's still a quarterback competition, or do you feel this is set in stone and we are riding with CJ from here on out unless something terrible happens? I'm going to be honest. I pretty much think it's a done deal. I really do. I really do. I think it's a done deal. I think it's a done deal. I think Marcus Freeman kind of alluded to that. We need to make a decision. I know we need to make a decision. And when we make that decision, he's going to be our guy. And I will go once again. Man, 3 games into the season last year, the calls were out from the Notre Dame media, from the Notre Dame fans. Hey, it might be time to move on to Steve Angeli. You guys remember that? After Northern Illinois, and then I think it was Miami of Ohio, after those 2 games, like, it was loud too. It was very loud. Like, hey, all right, here we go with these ACC transfer quarterbacks again. Back-to-back underwhelming performances. And what did Marcus Freeman do? He stood up in front of the media and was like, man, we're not doing that. I haven't even thought about it. Haven't even thought about it. Next thing you know, they turn things around. Heck of a season, right? Heck of a season. So for me, yeah, I think it's done. I really do. I think this is CJ Carr's team. for the next 2 seasons. Minimum. Next 2 seasons. Minimum. I really do. Let's get to some of your responses. If you have a super chat, GTB, throw it in. We'll bring it up. You guys are my co-hosts tonight. Best in the business. I got D Monk, Mr. Food Lover. SHAUN, what would CJ do to be better than Brady Quinn? What could CJ, I apologize, do to be better than Brady? Just win a championship. Win a championship. I think Left said it last night. If this young man wins a championship in the next 2 years, it's nothing Brady. He will eclipse Brady Quinn. He will immediately eclipse Brady Quinn. Now, I asked the question. I'll be shocked if this happens regarding the Notre Dame offense. And CJ Carr, 25 plus TD passes. Man, Jerry Reinsdorf's burner. Hey, what's on the burner? Let me know. Is he going to relinquish majority control quicker than 2031? I need that for my White Sox and my Bulls. Jerry Reinsdorf's burner. Tell me what's on the burner. But to answer your question or to elaborate on that would shock me. I'll keep it a buck. Over 25 touchdown passes? Yeah, I will be shocked. I'll agree with that. That's a really good one. I definitely would be shocked by that. My God, Joshua Nip. He'll be shocked if the Notre Dame offense scores less than 30 points in any game. I think the best chance for them to score less than 30 will probably be Texas A&M. That Texas A&M game. USC, they'll score 30. Boise State, yeah, they'll score 30. I'm trying to think of some of the tougher games on the schedule. They're definitely putting up 30 against Syracuse. Yeah, I think maybe 1 or 2 games are good candidates for them to be sub 30. But I agree with you. They might set that all-time scoring record for total points and scoring average in the season this year. Have a really good shot to do that. Payload 27, not clicking with all the sharpened blades in the kitchen and not cutting. I don't know, was that a football analogy for like everything not going the way we expect it to go? Let's see if you guys have any more. Another one from Jerry Reinsdorf's burner. For 12 games, I would set the CJ Carr over under at 21.5 touchdown passes. 21.5? Woo! Ew. That's actually a really good number. You must bet frequently, JRB, because you set a really good number there. Because the reason I say that, and this is what makes Vegas great. You set a number that immediately hooks the bettor or the public's eye. When you see 21.5, immediately you start thinking like, oh man, yeah, he'll get 21.5. That's immediately what comes to your mind. Like 21.5? Oh, absolutely. And then you sit back and start to think about it. Like, that 21.5 is a really great number. Really great number. As of today, I'll take the over, JRB. I'll take the over. I'll take the over on that one. Stephen Robert, thank you for tapping in. He says 25 touchdowns and 10 to 12 interceptions. That's a lot of passes, Stephen. To get those types of numbers, I don't know if they throw the ball that much. I don't know. And I think the 10 to 12 interceptions are kind of high. I would put him in the 7 to 8 range, interceptions wise. Because I think this whole gunslinger thing that came out of fall camp is overblown. First of all, how many of the interceptions were on him, number one. And number two, how many Bronte Johnsons, Leonard Moores, Christian Grays, Don Shulers, and Devontae Smiths, Mark Zachary's, Free Thomas. We heard Marcus Freeman talk about all three, and Chris Ash talk about all three of the defensive backs in Dallas Golden. All three are making plays. Like, what secondary has that depth of talent that is going to challenge the Notre Dame offense? So I might be with you and rock with you on a chance to get the 25 TDs, Stephen. But the 10 to 12 interceptions, my guy Ed 3, over under 14.5 point win over the U. Could be possible. I'm trying to tell people, man. Could be possible. Don't be shocked. Do not be shocked. Sean Stewart, what's your prediction here? Oh, man, you went high. 3,900? So that's actually one of mine. It would shock me if CJ Carr threw for over 3,500 yards. If CJ Carr threw for over 3,500 yards, it would absolutely shock me. It would absolutely shock me. Brian Hatton said a receiver winning the Heisman Trophy. At Notre Dame, Brian, or just in general? Are you speaking in general, or are you talking about Jaden Greathouse or somebody at Notre Dame? It would be incredible. It would be absolutely incredible. Chad Osborne, GTB, Indy stays below 7 penalties for 70 yards average per game. Offensive line being cleaned up eliminates a lot of those. A lot of those. So Chad, on average, yes. If they're averaging 7 penalties for 70 yards, it actually, I don't think Marcus Freeman would be happy about that at all. I don't think he would like his team averaging 7 penalties. Forget the yardage. If his team is averaging 7 penalties per game, I don't think Marcus Freeman would be happy with that. Appreciate you, Chad. Appreciate you. Demont said, can we do a call-in show if CJ throws for 21.5 touchdowns? You guys called me on a good day. Had really good service tonight. You called me on a good day. Demont, if CJ throws for 21.5, you heard it here first. I'll go ahead and create the call-in show on LL. I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it for you guys. Okay, Brian Hatton said for Notre Dame, yes, I'm with you there then. I would definitely be shocked if any of the wide receivers for Notre Dame won the Heisman. My guy Orimic, what's good? GTB question, do you think Carr will shatter all the quarterback passing records by the end of his career at Notre Dame? That's going to be big because BQ played 4 years, 3.5. He started midway through his freshman year, right? That's tough. He has a chance if he stays for 3 years, but if he balls out, literally next year might be his last year. Yeah, Sid Irish is like, yo, Brady has 95 touchdowns. So he's going to have to play 3 seasons to eclipse that 95 touchdown. He has to play 3 seasons. Dang. That guy Brady Quinn almost got to a century mark in touchdowns. Like, you forget, there's a reason why Brady Quinn is beloved. And shout out to all the Notre Dame fans that responded in the chat after the show was done. Yes, Left was bugging last night. He was absolutely bugging last night, taking Ian Book over Brady Quinn in a 1-game scenario to win it all. Heck yeah. Yeah, 95 in 3.5 years. That is bonkers. That is bonkers. Now I'm intrigued because if he had 95 in 3.5 years, what did Jimmy Clausen do? What did Jimmy Clausen do? I didn't even realize I had the theme music playing ever so slightly in the background. The entire show. It's probably going to sound dope on the download. Yo, Clausen left after 3 years. Got drafted. And when he left with 60 touchdowns. Man, this is looking even more impressive. Man, BQ, he's that dude for a reason. He's that dude for a reason. Tracy Pines, man, 20 touchdowns to 16. Man, 16. Do you really think he's going to throw 16 interceptions? That's a lot. That really is. That's a lot. That's a lot. Lucky Lefty podcast. That's a lot of interceptions, my brother. That's a lot of interceptions. Oh no. I don't even have to think about that. I don't see it. I just don't see it. The star, the dude that's really, because, you know, we had Hurricanes fans coming in talking about we're going to shut down the run. All right. Okay. 4, 24, 3, 22. Like, which one? I hope you're not just focused on Jeremiah Love, but just in case you are, Marcus Freeman just reiterates just how special he is. Check it out.
I don't think anybody worries about a target being on their back. You know, we're the most self-motivated people, and we better be the most self-motivated people, and so target doesn't mean much. But, you know, he's a great player. He's he loves the game. You know, we're going to find different ways to utilize him in the ball in his hands. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that production, the offensive total production is the most important. That's what we'll do. So if there's ways to utilize Jeremiah Love, yes, to get the ball in his hand, but to help our offense have production, we're going to do it.
And can you talk about him being a student of the game and how he improves that way?
I think it takes studying. Like you got to study the game. You have to watch film. You have to meet with your coaches. You can't just. I often tell those guys, you can't elevate if you're just meeting when everybody else meets, or you're just practicing when everybody else practices. Like, what are you doing outside of the mandatory hours? But he's a guy that wants to improve. He wants to be better, so he's meeting with his coaches and watching extra film. And I just think he's practicing at a higher level than I ever have seen him, a faster level, disciplined. I think he's doing a really good job.
Yeah, man. You got to love it. You got to love it. I agree. That dude is, he's just one of those dudes. He's going to make plays. You can stop him for a period. I mean, you can stop him for a quarter. You can handle him for 2 quarters. Go back to that last drive against Texas A&M. Texas A&M, for the most part, had done a pretty good job. They let Jadarian out the back door for a long run in the 3rd quarter. But they had pretty much done a good job, especially open field tackling against Jeremiah Love in that game. And then all of a sudden on that last drive, Ford just got loose. He just got loose. So I know Miami has a formidable defensive line, but holding him down for 4 quarters, I don't know. Man, Josh T, I have no love for Miami. None. For what? But I do love. What I do love is my boy Justin Scott and what I'm hearing about him during fall camp. And as always, I love any CPS kid. So shout out to my boy Marquise Lightfoot down there doing it big. Love I rep Chicago all day, every day. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. But outside of that, man, I almost said something. But no, I'm not going to say it. No love lost at all. None. None. So you guys, as we get ready to get out of here, you guys have been fantastic. I told you I would come on, rock out with you. Josh Nip, let me get to this last GTB question before we get to our last topic. How do you think Scott does against our offensive line? He's going to make some plays. I think Mike Denbrock said it. Mike Denbrock was like, yo, when you play good teams, they're going to make plays, man. They got dudes. They're going to make plays. Unfortunately, they're thin and inexperienced and young behind their top 3 guys on the interior. So I'm more worried about, or I'm looking forward to what Justin Scott's going to refresh. I'm going to be worried about when he gets up there to the 45, 50 play range late in the game and Notre Dame is still pounding that rock. I want to see if he can still be elite. That, for me, is going to be, that's going to be the thing for me. That right there is going to be, that's going to be the thing. But I love my dude, man. Love my dude. I always knew he was going to be special. My favorite Irish quarterback is and will always be MALIK ZAIRE. No, I'm just playing. My favorite Irish quarterback will always be It's really not even close, man. Tony Rice was just that dude. He was that quarterback, not typical, really wasn't a great passer. But man, that dude was Riley Leonard on another level. It's almost like if Riley Leonard had another gear, it was like, dude, he performed at his best. Please go watch that USC game from '88 on the road. Tony Rice was just bomb the rocket, the 70-yard run down the left sideline, the toughness, just, man. And Rodney Peete was literally considered one of the favorites for the Heisman going into that game. Literally. He was considered one of the favorites for the Heisman. And Tony Rice just went out there and stole the show. He stole the show. Then he went up against Major Harris in the bowl game, another guy that was up for Heisman contention. He stole the show against him. That's just who he was. And I watched him way too many times. When Notre Dame's offense got bogged down, he just took games over. He literally just took drives over. Just took them over. So, Tony Rice, man. It's not even a question for the kid. That cat TD, Tony Rice. Easy. Before we get out of here, I want to play this clip. It's this Austin guy. Last name Austin. He talks crazy about Notre Dame. He really goes hard at Notre Dame over the whole conference thing, right? Which I don't understand. Everybody knows if you can make money without help from anybody else, why would you want to join them? When you have your own TV deal that's profitable, why would you have to? For what? Give me the advantage. Give me the advantage. I tell the story all the time. I'll never forget. I was a sophomore, beginning of sophomore year. I had a couple of frats approach me. And first of all, I didn't understand fraternities. Like, I was young. I really didn't know the full scope of what they meant. So when they approached me and they were telling me like about their organizations, I was like, yo, I got a whip down here just like you. Literally, I talk to the same girls that you talk to. I'm about to spend $1,400 in an application fee and go through the pledging process for what exactly? And if I had it to do all over again and I had a better understanding, then I probably would have ended up going through the process. And it's the same thing. What exactly does the Big Ten, the SEC, or the ACC in a full capacity, what exactly do you do for Notre Dame? That's already one of the biggest brands. That's already one of the biggest brands. Man, you all don't, Josh T doesn't know anything about football. The fact that he just called Notre Dame's offensive line shaky is hilarious. It's literally the most consistent position room at Notre Dame in over the last 20 years. He's clueless. He's clueless. At best, a shaky Notre Dame offensive line is better than 85% of college football. Like, he's clueless. Don't even respond to him. But this Austin guy, I want to get back to this. Don't want to lose track. Want to get you guys out of here. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you guys. Sorry for us being an hour late. I promise I'll make sure that we get Left and Reggie Brooks on with you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central Time. Yeah, he usually goes at Notre Dame about not being in the conference, but he had an interesting take on his show. And I actually thought he had some good points. And oh, by the way, Miami Hurricane fans, if you're watching, you might want to listen to this, because this is not a Notre Dame media guy. This is somebody else that usually hates on Notre Dame. Listen to what he has to say.
In the margins football program. All right, this is we gonna control the line of scrimmage. We gonna out block and out tackle you. That's how they got their way to a national championship last year, and I think it is their core identity as a football program, not just under Marcus Freeman, but that is Notre Dame football. Ladies and gentlemen, I looked it up today. It's been 20 years since they produced a first-round draft pick at the quarterback position. That was Brady Quinn. Okay, in those 20 years, what have they done? They've averaged 9 wins. They've averaged 9 wins without a single first-round quarterback. They've only had 2 years in which they failed to win more than 8 football games in the last 2 decades without elite quarterback play. So all he really has to do is be above average, okay, and they will be fine. Now, the ceiling of this football team, and it's another reason why you could argue that they chose to go with him, the ceiling of this football team, if he does become an elite passer or if he does become an elite prospect at the position, is unknown and really untapped over the last 2 decades of this program.
I mean, really, that's quite a stat considering, like, the only other program that I could think that even matches up to that is Georgia. As far as, like, having first-round quarterbacks, they've only had one, and it was Matthew Stafford, but they've still managed to be a very successful program. Like, I think Alabama kind of flirts with this, but then they also went on a run of having first-round draft picks at the quarterback positions.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a Georgia guy that constantly rants on Notre Dame, telling you this is what Notre Dame does. This isn't even Marcus Freeman. Running the ball, kicking your butt, beating you up physically. This is what they do. And they did it for 2 decades. And out of 20 years, they've only had 2 seasons where they've had less than 8 wins. And they've been able to do it without having elite quarterback play. So if CJ Carr is 80% of what we think he can be, just 80, like you said, CJ Carr just has to be above average. He just has to be above average. If CJ Carr is above average, man, Notre Dame is cooking. But if Notre Dame has a first-round quarterback on the way, think about that. That's an impressive stat, bro. 9 wins or more. 18 of the last 20 years with no elite quarterback play. That's impressive, man. That's impressive. That's impressive. So let me tell you, this is uncharted territory for Notre Dame fans. It really is. Goofy, I never said he was a first-round pick. The point is, he doesn't have to be a first-round pick. How about you get a quarterback at Penn State that can throw the ball without it being a lollipop past 30 yards? How about that? How about that? Stop getting these 5 stars that are bust like Drew Allen. Heck, Drew Allen wasn't even the best quarterback on the roster last year. The best quarterback on the roster for Penn State was Tyler Warren, and he was your tight end. But you want to run it back with Drew Allen. Don't get me started, man. I just came out of church service. I'm really trying to stay in the spirit. I'm really trying to have a good spirit about myself. But you're pushing me. Don't push me. I'm close to the edge, trying not to lose myself. I'm just poking fun, man. I'm just poking fun. It's all love tonight. It's all love tonight. Heck, I just committed to CJ Carr throwing for over 21 and a half touchdowns, leading to a call-in show. So you can tell I'm in a good mood. I'm in an absolutely amazing mood. So that's it. If there's no more super chats, once again, I'm going to say it slower. The point of the clip, and I never said, the point of the clip is he doesn't have to be a first-round pick. He can be above average with the history of Notre Dame and the way they play football, and Notre Dame is going to have a chance to win. Keep up. Keep up. And then we said, if he becomes a first-round pick, if he plays above being an above-average quarterback, college football has to watch out because Notre Dame has consistently won 9 or more games over the last 20 years without elite quarterback play. That's what they've done. Keep up. I know you can't handle maybe, Penn State fans, maybe you can't handle, dual conversations where you have 1 point and then extend it to a second point. But keep up. Keep up. Hopefully your wide receivers will catch their first pass. And over how many months has it been, Notre Dame fans? How many months has it been? What will that be? 7 months? It's been 7 months since a Penn State wide receiver caught a pass. Think about that. 7 months. 7 months since a Penn State wide receiver caught a pass in a game. My, oh, my. My, oh, my. As the great Dick Enberg used to say when he called Notre Dame games. 7 months. Man. Woo! Man, oh, man. That's a lot of months. It's a lot of practice to work on your hands. Your hands might work. Hopefully you can actually get open. Yeah, they're playing Nevada. I know they're probably going to, the first play, they're going to be like, oh my God, we actually have space. We actually have space on our breaks. We get to play without handcuffs today. We get to play without seatbelts today. We don't have to play with seatbelts, as Leonard Moore was saying, all game long. Strap in. Come on, kiddies. Put your car seat, get in your car seat. You got to make sure you're safe. That's what Leonard Moore and Christian Gray was saying to the Penn State wide receivers all game. We dominated y'all for 52 minutes. You just made it worse. Was that a flex? That was a flex? For 52 minutes, we dominated you all. Yep. And then you got smacked up for the last 8. What's your point? What's your point? Riley Leonard tried to give you the game. Didn't he, Notre Dame fans? Didn't Riley Leonard try to give them the game? He literally tried to give them the game. Horrible interception. Tried to give the game to Penn State. You didn't want it. Your team didn't want it. So we came and took it. Thanks for coming. Then we turned around and took your running back coach. Oh, by the way, after taking your running back coach, then we came back in recruiting and took 2 of your top 3 players in the state of Pennsylvania. Hello. And we'll be back in the class of 27. We got a couple of more in the class of 27. And we're just going to tell them, if you really want to be at a national championship program, don't do that. But I will say this, in all seriousness. I'm sorry, Carl. He got me started, man. He got me started, you know. But in all seriousness, I said I'm just really in a good mood tonight. I can joke, play the dozens, but it all comes back to profound respect. I love whiteout at Beaver Stadium. I really do. I think it's one of the greatest. Beaver Stadium is one of the greatest venues. I think the whiteout is just one of those things that college football is great to experience. And then Penn State actually made it into a Notorious B.I.G. verse. You know what I'm saying? He said, skip the state. He said, skip the state Penn. He deals with him at Penn State. And man, when a school makes it into a Biggie verse, that's legendary. That's legendary. That's legendary. So I tip my cap to that. You made a Biggie verse, man. School made a Biggie verse. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. You guys are great, man. Chat, everybody in the chat is great. For the most part, you know the rule in the chat. So Penn State fans, Miami Hurricanes fans, we don't do the personal attacks. You want to talk about teams, opinions, all of that? Always, you're welcome. Rock with us. Lucky Lefty podcast. Go over to FanDuel. Plus 420. Notre Dame is sitting right now to go undefeated in the regular season. Tap in over at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 2 new episodes dropping on Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify tomorrow. Tap in. We keep building. Let's get more downloads, guys. Tap in with us. TikTok, Twitter, X, and Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. It's absolutely amazing that we continue to grow. And it's all because of you guys. LL Nation, Fighting Irish fans. We appreciate you. And fans of other schools. All right. So for Left, myself, SD2 Mics, it's been a great one. I love getting the opportunity to rock with you guys, at least for an hour, 15 minutes. I'll see you guys Friday. I'll be back Friday. But rock out Reggie Brooks, MALIK ZAIRE tomorrow. Lucky Lefty podcast. Have a great rest of your late evening. But most of all, continue to spin it different. Appreciate you guys.